Hello, this is GypsyHawk from GypsyHawksGarden, and today I'm in the greenhouse and I'm going to talk about moonflower plants. That's the featured plant of the week, so I want to give a little bit of information on that that'll lead into helpful hints and tips for this plant. So right now I'm going to focus in on self. Right now I have them in the greenhouse because in this region this would be considered an annual outside and would not survive the fall, winter, or spring. Usually when I plant these outside, they don't go out until late spring because of the temperature range that they withstand. In subtropic and tropical areas such as Florida, Mexico, Central America, or South America, they would be considered a perennial outside and continue growing and blooming. But in this region, it's necessary to bring them indoors into a greenhouse or inside. That way they can keep on blooming and growing. The rest of this video, I will be doing more speaking on information inside, where I can actually show pictures of a live blooming plant. Right now I can't do that because they're not blooming, but I will continue this further shortly. Hello, this is GypsyHawk from GypsyHawksGarden. Right now I'm in the library and I'm working on a piece of the plant of the week, Moonflower. I do not have any blooming at this point in time, so I'm going to share some photos and also go over some details on the plant as well. This segment is on the moonflower, or its scientific name, which would be Ipomoea alba. The moonflower is a stunning, fragrant, fast-growing tropical vine which has beautiful, large white blooms. The moonflower belongs to the same family of plants that the morning glory and sweet potato vine belong to. As mentioned, it blooms in the evening, so pollinators that frequent this plant are usually moths, and one of the pollinators of this plant is the hawk moth. And the hardiness zones for this plant are zones 9 through 12. Zones that are not 9 through 12, for example, my zone would be zone 8. In this area, this hardiness zone, it would be considered an annual, but in zones 9 through 12, it would be considered a perennial. It's a climbing perennial. Seasons of blooming are early summer, midsummer, late summer, and into early fall. The height of the plant can grow to 10 to 15 feet, and the spread is 3 to 6 feet. Soil drainage, it likes well-drained soil, and it would be considered a native of Arizona, Florida, or other areas of the southeast and southwest United States. One thing that I would like to mention is that you would need to, this is just a helpful hint and tip, it would be good to avoid full afternoon sun. It prefers morning sun, not afternoon sun, and would need part shade. Many of these information sites on this plant do not mention that, but I have noticed that myself in growing it. It will begin to wilt rather rapidly, and it can recover, but just to be on the safe side, I would try to avoid full afternoon hot sun and give the plant at least some type of shade and offer it morning sun, which is less intense. Now, it does have a frost sensitivity and is and can suffer from drought stress, as mentioned, with full afternoon sun. So you would need to just make sure that it's well within the range of its hardiness as far as cold and hot. It does have certain pests that may become a problem. I don't normally have this, but if there's a lot of rain with a lot of humidity, at times whiteflies can be a problem, sometimes aphids or spider mites. Now, seeds can be harvested from the pods after the flowers bloom. If you leave them and do not cut them off, they will actually harden into like a huge kind of seed pod. And after that, if you have to let them dry, though, don't try to take them off before they dry. Once they're dried completely, they'll produce rather large white seeds. These seeds tend to yellow slightly, and you can propagate these plants by planting the seeds or from cuttings. Now, I will do another segment next week on germinating and planting moonflower seeds, so I'll have more information on that next week. These are some of the moonflower seeds that have just germinated. And here are some little baby moonflower plants. They're so cute. They do have some diseases that may affect them. One of them is powdery mildew, root rot, or leaf spot. In my own experience, I've never had any problems with powdery mildew or root rot or leaf spot. As long as they maintain well-drained soil, this is normally not a problem, but I cannot rule that out, especially if there's high humidity and lots of rain. You would need to be careful with that. This concludes my segment on the moonflower. Next week, I will have another segment on the moonflower. It'll be featured again, and in this one, I'll be going over more detail on germinating seeds for the moonflower. I hope you have a good day, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at GypsyHawksGarden on my Etsy page, or GypsyHawk profile page on Facebook, or GypsyHawksGarden on Facebook page as well. Thank you, and please reach out with any questions or concerns, and I'm more than happy to help you.